Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. Today I thought I would talk about a topic that is super important when you're starting to design, and that is basically the trick to copyright, which is super duper important when you're first starting. Copyright is a huge problem in the gaming industry as well as other industries. In graphic design even more. Copyright is something that you'll have to keep in mind when you're doing a design for someone else, mainly. If it's for yourself, even then you have to be careful, because copyright can be a huge pain in your butt. Working with designing, for example, creating your own logo or your own background or something else like that, always keep in mind that if you look for something, for example, you're searching for a background or you're searching for something else, always keep in mind that there is copyright on that. As well as taking assets from games that some people have been using. I've seen people look for different games, use assets from different games, for example from Apex, from Fortnite, from other type of games that they use the assets for. Always keep in mind to keep a logo part from them on there, or keep the name from the company on there, so that you do not sell it as your own, but that you always keep the copyright from them in your mind, as well as taking the assets that you have taken yourself and created yourself in mind. Those are two things that I wanted to talk about in this video for sure, as well as when you're creating like a mood board for yourself. For example, someone asks you to design, I don't know, someone asked me to design the hunter from Resident Evil 2. I always ask her to send me 2 photos for a reference that I can use to design my own thing, and I feel like that is super important, because that way I knew what I was doing. I had a reference of this is what she wants me to do, and I was using that in order to get my design to be top-notch, but use it as a reference. I'm not using it as to copyright her, or that I'm using it as my official work, because that's not how it works. You use it as a reference so that you can create your own version of it. And that goes for every single thing in design work. It's for, unless you pay for it, of course. There are, sometimes you come across, like, you buy something. For example, I have several different type of things from a website called Video Launcher. They have assets for designing for, like, After Effects or for Premiere Pro. I have those assets, I paid for it, and I have a license for that, so I'm good with that. You can then use it whatever you want it with, because that's written in the license that you can do that. So that's something that you always have to keep in mind. Read your licenses, because that is something that will really save your butt sometimes, especially in design work, as well as always reading the license for fonts. Some people I've seen using different fonts from different type of companies, and what they forget is that when you're using a font from, for example, from Google, or using it from Dafont, there is always a written down note that says if it's for what it is for. For example, from Dafont, it usually says for personal use only, or a non-commercial use. Non-commercial use means that you are not allowed to use it in work that's going to be sold. So always keep that in mind in regards to that, as well as with music. The music I've used in all these videos are from Google, from YouTube's audio library itself, and sometimes I've used a song from Epic Game Sounds. Epic Game Sounds I have a subscription for, as well as using the YouTube library. That's for free. You can use that anytime you want. So always keep that in mind when you're using music in your video, so that you do not get a copyright strike in regards to that. When uploading a video from your favorite game or something, always keep in mind that there could be copyrights on that. Always read if the game that you're using or playing has a copyright thing on it. That's possible sometimes. I know with a game like BioShock on the PS4, you're not allowed to stream it because there's a copyright thing on it. So you're not allowed to stream that. And that's something that you always have to keep in mind as well when you're creating or making a video, to keep that as well as in mind, because that's also something that I feel like is something that comes close to my heart as someone who is a designer, to keep that in mind as well. And I think that's basically the two topics that I for sure wanted to talk about in this video, just to give you guys like an impression about how important that is. Copyright is something that can get you in big trouble, and if you're not doing it, you can get fines you don't want to mess with. I've worked with for a fan site. I don't know about fan site for a very long time, for several different actors, for several different shows and stuff, and I've come across copyright issues as well. And what you don't have to do is just listen to the people who are asking you to delete it, and you do that. That's the rule of working with those kind of things. You do what they want you to do, or else you get a fine, and you don't want those fines, trust me. Now, switching from this topic to something else is going to be in the next video, where I'm going to talk about all the difference between the different file sizes that we use in graphic design. And that's a whole different topic, so keep that in mind. That's going to be the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.